right?
Right.
Are you surprised at the fan reaction for the character and how attached the fans are?
I really am actually, because it's been insane. The response has been really crazy, and right, we only need him for a couple episodes here and there.
Yeah, it was
season
actually
one.
only like 2 or 3 episodes that you got to see him, and then
And even in Mugen Train, he's only in it for the beginning and end of Mugen Train. So he has a very short amount of time, but I think that that little taste that we get of what his character's all about really left so many of us, and me included, wanting more and wanting to know more about what he does. Like, especially towards the end of Mugen Train when they're running through all the different fighting techniques. Oh yeah. I love that. But totally, it definitely leaves me. I said it.
they're ready. Let's make sure.
They are ready, okay.
They're going to try their hardest to distract you from every single answer.
Unfortunately, I'm very distractible, so Akaza is doing his job right now. Thank you. But yeah, definitely, I think I love how much of an impact Rengoku has made despite the on-screen time, but I think that just goes to show how fantastic the writing is on the show, on Demon Slayer, and how well they construct those stories, that you get that attached to a character. And I think that speaks a lot to the entire production team behind the property.
So we also got another question, and this is from Akasha. I know we kind of took a little bit yesterday, can't make any spoilers or anything like that, but she actually said any talks of having you back, even in flashbacks, especially Pat, because of the train arc that's being split up in season 2.
Akasha, not Akasha?
Akasha.
We're sure it's not Akasha.
Yeah, it's Akasha.
Okay. As far as whether I'm back, and as I think we mentioned before. Hey, Viva Mexico! I love it. Unfortunately, I can't really say one way or the other. And a lot of times we don't know, and even if we do, we're not allowed to make announcements because obviously they want to make those announcements officially and all at once. So if I ever do get to make an announcement, I'm going to be super excited because that means I got the official go-ahead. But as for me, I really hope that we see more flashbacks, more about the backstory. I know that someone had mentioned to me along the way that there was a manga being written about Tomioka and Rengoku and some of their history together. So I can't wait to explore the character more.
So someone actually asked in one of these questions, it already ran away, but what's been actually the favorite character that you've voiced so far?
Ooh, period out of
period.
everything. Gosh, I don't know. That's a hard question because I have so many characters that I really have fallen in love with.
What are some of your favorite ones that you've done so far? Obviously, you get so much fan reaction from Rengoku, but that was just recent. That hasn't been over the span of your entire career.
I mean, a lot of characters that have struck chords with folks, and honestly with me as well. Rengoku, Sepeth in Fire Emblem really was a huge role that I absolutely love diving into. Kazuha in Genshin Impact. Are there any Genshin fans? Yeah! I love Genshin Impact. I play the living crap out of it. But I like Kazuha because he's such a polar opposite from someone like Rengoku. He's very calm. He's very chill. He's not at all like Pikachu in that photo. But having that opportunity to I had to dial up the gain on my microphone just because I'm usually projecting. I'm usually in roles that are very intense or very higher pitched, more intense projection levels. But with Kazuha, he's very poetic. He's very calm and chill. And so I had to dial up the gain, allow myself to get into that nice kind of poetic headspace and just chill out for a while. And it was a really soothing session. So, but yeah, there's so many characters that I like. It's very hard.
How long have you been voice acting?
I've been voice acting for only about 6 or 7 years.
Also,
That's what I think too, yeah. Yeah, so not too long, but I've been an actor my whole life, pretty much. Well, not my whole life, but like for a couple decades now. I started in theater,
Yeah.
and then I did a lot of musical theater and all that sort of thing, and then I went on to pursue film. I did some commercials and indie film stuff here and there, and then I did voice acting.
what got you to shift from doing regular acting over into voice acting?
The community really got me to shift. There's so many like friendly people in the voice acting community, and being in LA, you'd think that's the place where you want to break into film and TV, but it's odd. For as niche as everyone says the voice acting community is, I found it to be very accessible. And there were a lot of folks that were willing to talk about their experiences, to sit down and just have like a cup of coffee and chat. Everyone really like has a respect for each other's work, which I think is wonderful and amazing. I don't know if there's some stories that get tossed around about people, if they're like, this job is not right for me. They get auditions or they get job offers and they're like, this isn't me, but we know the voice actor that can do it, and people will totally suggest them or pass it along to them, and stuff like that just doesn't happen all the time in other areas of the business, but with voice acting it did. And so that community really opening up, it made it so easy to sink into. Plus, being a theater kid, it really helped, I really felt more at home doing voice acting.
Sounds like we have some theater kids in the house.
Theater kids! One theater kid in the house. I'm with you.
So, going back to Demon Slayer, because we got a couple of fan questions or some questions from the audience. I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but what is your favorite line as Rengoku?
Well, as I think I said this yesterday, it is set your heart ablaze. Or taste it!
Do people come up and randomly yell tasty to you everywhere?
Sometimes.
Obviously, Zach was very excited to yell that to you.
Yes, yeah, Zach definitely, he's just muttering it over there all day.
Have you seen a lot of these memes that have gone around of Rengoku all over the place?
And not all of them, so I'm actually very, yeah, that one visited me in my dreams last night. Yeah, that's one I can't get out of my head. I love this whiteboard art though. This is really cool.
But there's so much fan art of Rengoku,
Yeah.
And that I'm pretty sure people have brought you and shown you at different conventions. Am I correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
So someone actually in the audience actually asked, what is one of your most memorable convention experiences?
Oh gosh, I haven't really been to many conventions. This is only convention number 4 for me, so yeah. I mean, y'all are making memories right now because it's like non-stop getting to meet everybody and just have a really fun time. I guess one of them might have been for better or worse. I did an Irish jig, and in a panel once, someone said that they were like, "Hey, I heard you can do a really good Irish jig," and I was like, "I don't and can't." And then the crowd wouldn't really let up, and so I jigged across the stage, and I feel like this is about to, I don't know.
I think you just got yourself into having a jig.
Oh my God. All right, here we go. Clap. Come on. This is unbelievable. I was trying to avoid that. And then mid-sentence, I was like, oh.
Well, now it's gonna be all over Twitter and Instagram.
I know.
So it's gonna haunt you forever now.
This is now like a thing that's gonna happen.
So we actually have a question from the audience, and this is from Alan S. Alan, are you here? Raise your hand. There's Alan. So Alan had a question, and he was asked, typically how long do you prepare before you get inside the booth?
Ooh, a good question. It really depends. character to character. So mostly, one thing I've learned is that you're just preparing basically every day. So I love it because it just makes no sense to me. Probably like whenever I get up in the morning, I always try to prepare. So as a singer, I'll always try to do scales, vocalize. Oh my gosh, this is killing me. Sorry, so I have to like put a blinder up here. Typically, like I like to warm up my voice. I like to warm up my body. So like things like doing vocal scales. Or even like stretching, doing a workout. Like I like to try and keep myself in shape. I feel like as actors, our bodies are our instrument. And so, especially growing up in theater and doing a lot of that, everything was very physical, very tied to the body. And so the more that you can work on things like breath control, how you take care of yourself, and strength training, flexibility, like yoga is fantastic. So all those sorts of things. But generally, I think that just kind of get myself in a headspace, probably like 30 minutes or something of really just trying to focus in and dial it in. But honestly, for any job, preparation happens all the time. It's like happening all the time, and it was all my years in school that prepared me for this moment. Actually, if you'll allow me to tell a story.
Yeah.
I was on a really cool show, one of the bigger shows that I've done actually. If anyone knows the movie Home from DreamWorks that came out a while ago, it was with Rihanna and Jim Parsons. And they made an animated series based off of it, and I am Jim Parsons' voice match in that series playing Bo, this little purple alien. So, super wonderful role. I was so excited to be a part of it. I got to work with so many of my heroes in the VO industry, like Nolan North and Tom Kenny, D. Bradley Baker. They were all on this show, and I was like, I'm the lead of this show. It was nuts. But like day one going in for that show, it was like, they give us the script maybe a day before, and we got in there, and it wasn't like we were doing rehearsal. It wasn't like we were running takes. It was like, hey, this is ABC, this is the producer, the voice director, I'm the lead on this project. All right, take one, go. And I was like, holy crap, we are running. And right there, I think I realized that there is the preparation that I do to get to that moment has been my life leading up to it. All the time that I spent in school, in classes, in workout groups, auditioning, just doing whatever I can, because I didn't have time to rehearse. And I was like, your prep is everything up to that point. So that's kind of what I always keep in mind, because you gotta be ready to go at any moment. The industry moves fast, and there can only be one sun.
Would you say that that's also helped you, moving over from musical theater into voice acting? Did you bring a lot of that preparation, that mentality into voice acting?
Absolutely, yeah. Especially being from musical theater, and you don't have to be a singer to be a voice actor, but it helps you with a sense of helps you develop a sense of rhythm, of musicality. There's obviously a lot that we're doing with our voices to express that emotion, because we don't have our body physically on screen. All of the very talented animators and artists make that happen. And so having that sense of how to be flexible with your voice is very important. So yeah, I found that really helps.
So I see you're drinking some coffee. This actually comes from Bree in the audience.
Yes.
Bree, where are you at? Here's Bree right here.
Hey!
So Bree wants to know, what is your favorite beverage?
My favorite beverage? I do love coffee. Gosh, I love so many coffees. Let's see. I generally like, I'll do like Americanos, but not with a lot of water, because I don't like weak-ish coffee. Or like just straight up, like espresso on ice is fantastic. I always like iced coffee, so this is actually tea, but like hot coffee, I don't know. But yes, coffee of all shapes and forms. And then boba. I'm a sucker for taro boba tea, so. I hear it's fantastic here. Has anyone had the boba tea? All right. I gotta go and get some, so you might see me in line there.
We can get you some boba tea. Okay, this is actually not a question, but Christian C, are you here? Christian C. Oh, I don't know who it was then. Well, Christian C said that they love you and your voice.
Thank you.
I was gonna give them a shout out.
I appreciate that. Well, wherever you are, I appreciate you.
So someone else asked, and I totally forgot. So usually when I prep to do some of these interviews, I get to see your entire, history. But there's one that I kind of forgot. Peppy Hair from Star Fox. You actually did that. I'm a huge video game nerd. What was that like?
Oh, that was a trip. It was so awesome. I also really hope that someday they get around to making Star Fox into an anime because I think it would be super cool. But so I grew up playing Star Fox, and so to voice some of those iconic lines was it was really fun. And they have you do it over and over and over again because they want you to hit the right cadence, especially on do a barrel roll. They want you to make sure that you're hitting. They probably would have been Mark, that was terrible. Let's take that again. Because you want to get it just perfect because those are what they call legacy lines. And you want to make sure that that's what everyone knows and loves from the franchise. I felt very lucky to be able to take on Peppy Hair, so I don't know. Fingers crossed that comes back around.
Hopefully, that's. I love Star Fox.
Yeah.
Speaking of video games, there's also another video game you mentioned before, which was Fire Emblem.
Yes.
Someone VC. That's all they put as the initials. VC. Are you here? There's VC. So VC said,
Hey.
Yeah, that they also love your voice, but they're wondering if you could say your favorite line from Fire Emblem.
Oh, my favorite line. I do very much although now I've said it so much that I can't remember how often he says it, but I have something to ask of you. I love Sedith, and I love him like that. I miss you. We can put Sedith's face in there too. Flame got us stuck in McDonald's play place. Do you see us waving at you? Yeah, I loved all the memes and all the lines from there. Unfortunately, I'm technically not supposed to voice stuff that's outside of the character's own lines, right?
Yeah.
Pikachu? Thank you for keeping me honest. God, I love that game so much. I love how the conversations flow, and especially the supports. One of my favorite supports is Hilda and Sedith, and him writing children's books, because it's so opposite to what you think that this character would be. And I love that about characters when they have dimension to them. Sedith comes across as sort of a Professor Snape sort of archetype. He's kind of a bit of a hard ass, a little bit at arm's distance. But then when you get into some of these supports and you're this guy writes children's books? And he does it earnestly and in good faith. And yet he's still very oblivious. And I love how he, at one point, even chastises Hilda for being a poor artist. But offhand, he doesn't trying to be mean, but he's just yes, your crude art, I think, really lends itself to this style. He's so out of touch. But yeah, that's about that.
So this one, I don't have to type this one out. Hi from Laredo, what's the best and worst job you had before acting? They want to know about your whole life.
Best and worst job that I had before acting. I worked in construction for a bit, and I really liked it because I like building stuff. I like working with my hands, and construction was fun. I got to kind of work on building schools kind of repairing things, any damage. I built back rooms of stores, and it was fun. I really enjoyed even digging a ditch. I know it sounds terrible, but I don't know, I enjoyed being outside, I enjoyed hanging out with people, I enjoyed being able to drive past a place that I worked at and see that I had done something and that I had built something and that I had made an effect on the community. The worst job I had, I was a caddy for golf, and I was 14 or something. I probably shouldn't have even been able to work, but with very much older people who were
Can you put
playing
me one
golf,
on there?
and some 14-year-old who could barely lift a bag, lugging
Something
their
that they'll put
stuff
on there,
around.
but put Jared 333.
It's awful. Again, I should never have been a caddy.
What's your favorite?
People were asking me for advice, and I'm like, I'm 14. What do you want me to do? Like, I don't know how to play this game, let alone how to tell you how to play
Put
it.
Jared 333.
So yeah, that was just, I probably was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
So, you know, this one is actually, I missed one earlier. That's okay, I'll jump to another one. What advice would Rengoku give to the audience?
What advice would Rengoku? Oh gosh. I mean, all of his wonderful, his wisdom is like just pervasive too. That, I mean, to grit your teeth, hold your head up high, and set your heart ablaze. I mean, right there, that's advice. I feel like it can really land on us at so
they
many
didn't put my
points in our
name.
lives, and I love it.
Horrible.
It's one of those things.
So, within the span of your career so far, you've done so many great animes, and there's one that I have
That's
not
my
touched
question.
on, and I feel bad for not doing it. So let's
Can I show my question?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, JoJo.
Can I show my questions?
That was one of the earlier animes
asked this
I'd
question
even done.
and
It's right when I started getting into doing anime, so I felt really lucky to like jump in on a part in that series.
I
And
put,
that's
what's
what
your
I'm gonna
favorite
ask. I mean, were
food?
you already a fan of the series when you
put-
jumped on,
they put my
or?
name.
I knew about JoJo's. I hadn't watched a ton of it. The art style. I love the art style, and yet it's very haunting at the same time. If anyone, I don't know if that makes sense to anybody. It's yeah, okay, yeah. So I hadn't watched a ton of JoJo's myself, but like getting in there and voicing it. Also, one of my good friends, Billy Kometz, voices Josuke, and he is amazing. We were in Aladdin at Disneyland together. I played Iago, and Billy played Aladdin, and he's just a gem of a human being, and I couldn't be happier for him voicing that role.
You know, doing that role, I mean, obviously it was one of your first, big roles